Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your patience today. Nothing worked out. Well, I shouldn't say nothing worked out. Something eventually did happen in the end. Certainly not the way that I had planned for it to happen, but that's life. If we have learned one thing in the last few months is that things that you plan may not happen, and that's the way it goes. And today was one of those days. I tested everything out last night. I went on and things were tickety-boo, and I went to bed thinking, it's all going to work. And then I woke up this morning and I did my little test runs on Facebook and my test run on YouTube. And the test run on Facebook did not work. The test run on YouTube did work. So I thought, it's going to work out just fine. It did not work out just fine. When I went to go broadcast on YouTube the second time, it was just a black screen with the words Rothwell United Church across the screen. When I did it previous to that, I could see myself moving around and doing all the things that I do, and it was just fine. So I went on thinking that it would work again, and it did not work. It was just a black screen. I could tell it was a black screen, and everybody else could too. And I decided on the fly to pre-record a service and put it up at some point afterwards. But then I realized that it might be a Zoom issue. And it might not be a YouTube issue after all. So I went off Zoom and I just pumped it right through live onto YouTube, and it worked out okay. I had to use the camera that comes with my computer, which is not my first choice, but you do what you got to do. And we ended up having a service, and most people found their way back. Some did not, and I'm really sorry about that, but there really wasn't much I could do. So anyway, we had the service and it all finished, and we had the coffee hour and everybody got to chat, and people were very supportive and nice to me, which I really appreciate because this is a little bit stressful. And then I went onto Facebook just to kind of look around, and lo and behold, a friend of mine shared a link. A colleague in ministry shared a link saying that Zoom was down this morning. People were having all sorts of problems with it. People couldn't join meetings, and people couldn't broadcast video and audio as well, and that was exactly my problem. I couldn't broadcast video, and it was a Zoom issue, and it wasn't a mic issue, and that makes me feel marginally better. It just drives the point home that these are not normal times, and we are really at the mercy of technology in a way that we weren't before. So anyway, it's Sunday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, and I thought I would share with you a video that I could not share during the service today because of the technological problems, but I can do it now, and I'm just going to put it up. And I'm hoping that you enjoy it. This was sent to me by Joanne O'Byrne, and it's another way to think about this whole pandemic and this whole virus. And I'm somebody who does not believe that God causes these problems for us to teach us a lesson. I don't think we're being punished. I think that we are stewards and participants in creation. And as such, that participation sometimes leads to danger. And sometimes that danger is in the form of a microscopic virus. So God doesn't cause these things to teach us lessons. God does not do this to punish us. But within all of that, there are lessons to be learned, and there are realizations to be had, and that can lead to good and hope and love and joy and all those things, and an improvement, hopefully, of some parts of our lives as this progresses and afterwards. Anyway, this video I thought was just lovely, and I'm going to share it with you right now. It's going to take me a minute to kind of get it going, just because that's what happens. I'm going to stop my video, and that just allows me to manipulate things a little bit smoother.
Tell me the one about the virus again, then I'll go to bed.
But my boy, you're growing weary, sleepy thoughts about your head.
Please, that one's my favourite. I promise just once more.
Okay, snuggle down, my boy, though I know you know full well. The story starts before then, in a world I once would dwell. It was a world of waste and wonder, of poverty and plenty. Back before we understood why hindsight's 2020. You see, the people came up with companies to trade across all lands, but they swelled and got much bigger than we ever could have planned. We'd always had our wants, but now it got so quick. You could have anything you dreamed of in a day, and with a click. We noticed families had stopped talking. That's not to say they never spoke, but the meaning must have melted and the work-life balance broke. And the children's eyes grew squarer, and every toddler had a phone. They filtered out the imperfections, but amidst the noise, they felt alone. And every day the skies grew thicker, till you couldn't see the stars. So we flew in planes to find them, while down below, we filled our cars. We'd drive around all day in circles. We'd forgotten how to run. We swapped the grass for tarmac, shrunk the parks till there were none. We filled the sea with plastic, because our waste was never capped. Until each day when you went fishing, you'd pull them out, already wrapped. And while we drank and smoked and gambled, our leaders taught us why. It's best to not upset the lobbies. More convenient to die. But then in 2020, a new virus came our way. The governments reacted and told us all to hide away. But while we all were hidden, amidst the fear and all the while, the people dusted off their instincts. They remembered how to smile. They started clapping to say thank you and calling up their mums. And while the car keys gathered dust, they would look forward to their runs. And with the skies less full of voyagers, the earth began to breathe, and the beaches bore new wildlife that scuttled off into the seas. Some people started dancing, some were singing, some were baking. We'd grown so used to bad news, but some good news was in the making. And so when we found the cure, and were allowed to go outside, we all preferred the world we found to the one we'd left behind. Old habits became extinct, and they made way for the new, and every simple act of kindness was now given its due.
But why did it take a virus to bring the people back together?
Well, sometimes you've got to get sick, my boy, before you start feeling better. Now lie down and dream of tomorrow, and all the things that we can do. And who knows, if you dream hard enough, maybe some of them will come true. We now call it the Great Realization. And yes, since then there have been many. But that's the story of how it started, and why hindsight's 2020.
Because if you look at the camera, they know someone's filming it because they can see you.
Exactly. If you look at the camera, they know someone's filming it. Okay, lie back down.
Wait,
Isn't that nice?
right now?
Yes.
I just think that was lovely. I'm going to stop it now. There we go. So I want to thank Joanne O'Byrne for sharing that with us, and I want to thank you again for tuning in this morning. And I want to thank everybody for watching this little video. And maybe we'll do some more videos as the weeks go on, not just on Sunday morning, but now that I'm finding it easier and easier to do when things work, it's not too difficult to check in this way. So I'm going to bid you a fond farewell, and I will see you whenever, but you'll see me. Bye.